Attention passengers, this is your conductor speaking. We are about to arrive at the hesitation station. Please mind your step as you enter the station.
Bananas.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Hesitation Station podcast, where we are so thankful for you guys to come in and just listen to us ramble. I am Jay, along with my co-host Tank. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good, man. You know, you really do like to ramble.
I do like to ramble. I am, but I'm the good rambling, right?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Okay.
Maybe 75% of the time. The other 25%, I'm like, what nonsense are you speaking?
That's fair. That's fair. Anyway, guys, we have another special guest on here, and they are, I would say TikTok. It's in my opinion, they are TikTok famous, right?
I'm going with low-key famous all around because I've seen them
Everywhere.
TikTok, Facebook, everywhere. So, I mean,
So you want to introduce them?
they are far-reaching, and they practice the voodoo that hoodoo and we do. Juju and Lulu.
Hi.
What's going on, Tank? What's going on, Jay?
How y'all doing?
Doing great.
Not too bad.
Good.
So for starters, before we go any further, I have to give my heartfelt, sincere congratulations because it was not too long ago, Juju, that you won an award for cinematography and videography, right?
Heck yeah!
Congratulations on that, sir.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate that. Yeah, that was actually a heck of a moment, to be honest. I was really surprised. Even though I knew I was up in the running up, I knew I was up for 2 categories. Even being there, waiting for them to call your name on stage, it was.
Yeah, he was down his little special VIP table, texting me from his phone, going, "Babe, I'm really nervous." And I'm like, "You got this."
Well, I mean, you had the support from home, but if I remember right, you had good old Sin Mao there with you.
Right? Yeah. She was unable to come because of our business and everything, so she had to stay back, and it was hard because something that special. I wanted her to be there with me. Yeah. And it was awesome. It was an awesome feeling to win.
The things we do for love.
But the moment they actually, so you try to mentally prepare yourself for it. You're like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna, And when they called my name, I was just like blanked out. You could see it in the video. I'm like, what do I do?
Like, wait, did they really call me?
Yeah, I was
wait a minute.
That's me.
It's like whenever you get picked for when you get picked as the last kid in dodgeball, and then they actually don't pick you as the last kid in dodgeball, and you're like, oh my God.
And who better to get the award from than bar none?
Oh yeah. Man.
I didn't get to see the award ceremony itself because I was at work, but I went back and watched the highlights of it, and that was phenomenal.
It was pretty awesome. Like I ain't gonna lie, when I got up on stage, like from between getting off the chair, climbing up the stairs, and getting on stage, I was trying to think, what am I gonna say? What am I gonna do? I was very ill prepared for that. Like I honestly didn't think I was gonna win. I was like, there's no way.
I knew he was gonna win, but
pretty much everything was I just did everything on the fly. I was nervous. I'm like, what did I say? What did I do?
I didn't even know who the other people were that were lined up for it. Once I saw you were in the running for it, I was like, yeah, there's no way. Like you, in my opinion, you were the only one that was going to get it.
And what was so amazing about that was we were the only cosplayers there. A lot of them, how they reacted to us, they were still kind of warming up to us and being in makeup and actually being there in makeup and in our costumes, and they're just so getting up there on stage. I just looked at everybody. You can see everybody's eyes just like crickets in the background. I'm like, hi.
They didn't know what to do. They're like, this is weirdo.
Weirdos are good. What are you talking about?
Yeah. I'd have been like, hey, let me buy you a beer.
I spend a lot of my free time actually talking with a lot of young girls.
Really?
Who reach out because they love Lulu.
Mm-hmm.
And they're always like, oh, I don't fit in, or I'm not, social media perfect, because social media puts a lot of pressure on girls to look and act a certain way. And I'm like, honey, do I look skinny? I'm not young. I'm not perky. I'm a complete weirdo, but I'm over here doing my thing. And the bottom line is, it's okay to be different, because different people are the people who change the world.
Exactly.
And
I
completely agree.
spend a good 2-3 hours a day just talking to these girls, which is something I love doing.
Nice.
But it's good. I try to teach them it's good to be weird.
Heck yeah. Be yourself. Do what you love. Have fun.
Normal's a setting on the dryer.
Ooh, the N-word.
He doesn't like the N-word.
Yeah, so I went to work, and Tank, I actually brought your shield into work the other day. I was like, look, I got a Viking shield. And and one of my coworkers was like, she looked over at me and she's like, you're so weird, and just walked away. I'm like, it's just taking you that long to figure it out? Like,
I'd rather be weird. Weird people have more fun.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, can you imagine a world where everybody's just
doing
normal?
the exact same thing.
Yeah, it'd be such a boring place.
We never had anything to do.
No,
Then
it's
Will
pretty
Smith would come up and kill us because we would be robots.
I was leaning more towards Wall E, where everybody's floating around in the chair, but that works too.
I mean, yeah, that works too. So let me ask you guys, y'all guys have what do y'all call it? Face paint,
Makeup.
mask, makeup. Okay. How long does that take you guys to put on?
3 hours.
Yeah.
3 hours.
Every time.
And y'all guys commit to these videos every single time and take 3 hours out of your day to put on this stuff for people like us.
Yeah. It's when we do our videos, it takes 3.5 hours. He takes longer. He always takes longer than me. But then we will try to do a minimum of 30 videos in a filming session, like absolute minimum.
Yeah.
It's a labor of love, though, ain't it?
It is.
So I'd assume that after you get off with us, y'all guys are going to do a couple videos before taking everything off. Yeah, okay.
I mean, why not? They're already ready.
Right.
But we'll sometimes, we can do up to 100 videos in a session, and we'll still be at 5 a.m. and then we wash the makeup off and go to work like zombies.
I have done that many times.
I do that every day.
What's funny is people's reaction, because like once I get the black off around the eyes, it looks like I'm wearing eyeliner all the time. So, I'll see people's reaction when I'm talking to them. They look at me and they're just looking at me kind of weird, tilting their head. I'm like, if you only knew.
It's hilarious because out in the real world, he's this big, like he's over 6 foot tall, and he's like super solid, muscly. He's got the tats everywhere and the shaved head, and they look over and he's got this little girly eyeliner still hanging around on the edges, and people just like.
Be like, bro, it's 2023. Eyeliner's the new thing.
Hell yeah. It's like, I look good. Masculine.
You need to put on eyeliner.
This big macho dude, and then we're doing the makeup, and he's like, "Oh, I love this eyeliner. It's so smooth." I'm just
like, oh my god! Look at my eyes; they shine.
You should start putting on eyeliner, my guy.
If I had a steady hand and wouldn't stab myself in the eye, I probably would. But I have horrible eyes as it is.
And here's the thing: everybody thinks like, so when I do my makeup, before I used to do we don't expose the main part of our makeup, how we do it. Mm-hmm. But the detail work, I used to go on live and do the details. People will sit there and they'll say, you're real steady and you're real good at that. And if you actually look at my hand, I'm actually it's shaking.
If you look off camera, we're all like wedged up against the desk to stop our arms shaking while we're like. Half the time, I don't even move my hand; I just move my face because it's easier.
And it is like, people will ask a lot, like, well, how do you sit there for 3 hours putting your makeup on?
Honestly, it goes by so fast.
Yeah.
It's part of our therapy, and by the time we get our makeup and watching come all together and bring our character to life, by the time we're done, we're so relaxed that, you know, the 3 hours just go by so quick. So we're listening to our music, we're relaxing, we're joking, we're laughing,
discussing video ideas.
yeah, and by the time, you know, everything's done, we're unwound, we're ready to go, we're, you know, in a good mood, and it's good therapy.
I've drank at least 5 coffees through a straw because I can't, you know, mess it up.
Yeah.
I can't drink no more Bangs. I get too wired.
Oh, we heard he's all devastated. Someone said Bang's going bankrupt, and that's like his favorite energy drink.
Oh, I'm like, no.
Check out Bucked Up.
And Venom. Venom's a good one.
Venom. That's
There's one called Bucked Up. It's got a deer head with the antlers for the logo, and it's some good stuff.
Man, I
That
want to
sounds
buck
like-
up now. I want a Venom. I want something. I need to wake up.
You're always sleeping.
And that's true. I'm a big man. I like sleep.
Sleep is good. Very good.
But no, it's definitely been, the last 3 years have been a journey.
Oh, heck yeah.
Have y'all only been doing this for 3 years?
No, we've been married for 3 years.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, wait a minute. I don't remember seeing them 3 years ago.
Well, he was around, but
Yeah.
there was a Juju a long time before there was a Lulu.
Yeah.
I've been doing this since TikTok took over. I mean, yeah, since
Since it was
TikTok.
musically.
Musically, yeah.
Musically, yeah. Musically, I was a watcher. I did do a little, you know, comedy skits here and there. I was very shy. I was afraid of people's reaction and getting, you know, negative comments. And, you know, I'm like, am I really, you know, prepared to take the good with the bad, you know? So it took me a while to actually get comfortable with the camera and everything. Then when TikTok took over, I wanted to bring some characters that I drew up and came up with when I was a kid. And I'm like, you know what? I go, this is the perfect place to do it. You can, you know, it's TikTok. It just started. So yeah, I've been here since TikTok.
So I didn't join in till 2020 when it was already TikTok. And I actually was one of the first female transitioners. That used to be my thing. And I was actually pretty good at it. That's how he actually found me. I came across his For You page one day and he's like, hey, that's not bad. And little did I know he was then stalking me for the next 3 months. I had no idea.
Real quick, let's clarify on the transitioner. Now, it doesn't mean she was a male and went to female. For those who don't know. It just means if you're not familiar with the app and everything, TikTok, Facebook, mainly on TikTok, a lot of people will do a transition from one thing to another or change from clothes to another clothes. I know there's a lot of people that aren't really familiar with it, but I know last time she mentioned transitioning.
Yeah,
everybody's like,
we were actually doing our interview for the new upcoming TV show Influenced, and I said I was a transitioner, and they're like, you used to be a dude? I'm like, no.
I was like, huh?
But he's into that.
I was like, yeah, mama, come to daddy.
But yeah, I didn't know that he was then stalking me for the next 3 months. Like, I had no idea. But we had some mutual friends in common. So I kind of saw him pop in and out the lives. And he'd be like, what's up? And I'm like, hey. But yeah, that was kind of it. And he came across my For You page. I was like, who's that weirdo? Yeah, I started popping around in that. So I went, and I actually took a break from TikTok for a few weeks because I had some family stuff going on. And it was about 2 weeks in, suddenly my Snapchat starts ringing. I'm like, what the hell does this person want? Because it was him. Like, what do you want? And he's like, oh, I noticed you've been gone for a little while. Just checking up on you. And so we started chatting there, and then we became like best friends, like really good friends. We'd talk every single day, just hanging out. And it was friends. Like, there was no topic off limits. We knew everything about each other. So I'm totally comfortable sitting there, you know, Doritos all over my face, skanky hair, reading, like nothing was off limits. He'd bring me because of the time zone difference, and I'd answer it with like drool on my face and stuff, like no hold back whatsoever. And then out of the blue one day, he started acting all weird. Yeah, you know you did. He was being weird. I'm like, what's about 2 weeks? This is weird as. And I just finally, I'm like, what's the matter with you? And he's like, nothing. I'm like, seriously, like something's up. You're not yourself. And he's like, no, it's nothing. I'm like, will you just tell me? And he goes, you don't want to know. I'm like, okay, I'm bored. I'm done with this conversation. He's like, okay. So I'm sitting there. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning for me in Australia. And I'm just watching other little dots across the screen. Dot, 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 dot. I'm like, holy shit, this dude's writing a novel. Like, this is going on forever.
Little does she know it was a type, delete, Type, delete. Nope. Hold on, we're
I already
gonna
got there for a good 15 minutes before I passed out. I was asleep. So worst part is I'll fall asleep watching the little dots, right? 7 hours later, I wake up to this huge heartfelt message of his feelings for me. And this poor guy, like, it was a novel too. It was like you had to scroll through to read this thing. But this poor guy thinks I've just read it and ghosted him because I left it open so it shows that I read it. So he just think I ghosted him for 7 hours. And it's hilarious because when it took me, 4 cups of coffee and a lot of thinking to even think how to respond to this. So by this time, it's been about 10 hours. And the worst part was I started typing back and I wrote, hey. I literally got H-E-Y. And you saw the little thing pop up where he's already sitting there waiting to see what I'm going to say. And I'm like, oh, dear God. And then I'm like, hey, sorry, I fell asleep. And he goes, okay. He's waiting for me to say something. So, I don't know how this is going to work. We're on opposite sides of the world. Like, I don't know what to do. So he's like, let's just try. I'm like, okay. And then he goes, do you have any idea what I've been through in the last 10 hours? And I've gone, what? He goes, I've been through everything from, I love her so much. What am I going to do? I've lost her to fuck you, bitch. Ghost me and not saying anything back.
Do you know who I am?
He goes, I bounce back and forth between hating your ass and being in love with you for about 10 hours.
I'm deleting her number. But no, I love her.
The whole time, he's like, fuck.
And the whole time, I'm literally, and I snore too, so I'm just sitting there going, while he's having a massive freak out.
I'm sitting there, I'm like, it doesn't take that long to read that. 3 hours later, she's still reading that? Maybe I should write Australian.
Bust out the Ben and Jerry's.
I still, Aussies have a whole different way of cussing. Like, there's a whole, when we cuss, people are just like, what? But we understand it all. But I still have trouble. I was explaining to somebody the other day, the slang. And I said, oh, their neighbors are bluing over the fence. And they're like, they're what with blue? I'm like, no, they're bluing over the fence. And they're like, huh? I'm like, they're having an argument. They're fighting. And they're like, oh. But it's, even for him, I still have to translate a lot of what I say.
Yeah, I'm like, Google, what did she say? Especially when she gets mad at me. Yeah. She goes off. I'm just sitting there staring, trying to understand part of the sentence. I'm like, I understand that word. What the hell is that one? She's really mad. I never heard that one before. Whoa, that's a big word.
The best way when you hear the accent come out real thick and all the cussing under the sun is when I'm playing COD.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's understandable. I watch. I've seen almost everything that y'all have put out since I found y'all, but I also watch Aussie Man from Perth.
He's funny.
So I found him before I found y'all, and I have to say, Australian insults and cussing and all of that is just fucking majestic.
It's on a whole nother level.
It is, because I'll watch him and I'm just like, I don't know what you're saying, but I feel you. You have my support. I will go to war for you. Let's do this.
And his stuff is very hilarious. I love watching this stuff. I saw him on TikTok way back when, and ever since then, I think I've seen a couple more new videos last month, but I kind of lost touch with that. I'm like, well, I got my own Australian now, so.
Yeah, you don't need another one. You got one now.
I will tell you, if there is a spider in the house, he's calling me to kill it.
Yeah, because hold on. The reason why is because y'all spiders are like the size of my freaking hand in Australia. So,
so we were on a video chat. He's called me. I answered it. I'm literally waking up. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, what? He's like, good morning. I'm like, so I'll get up and I'm like, I have to pee. I haven't even had coffee yet. So I'm carrying the phone in front of me and I'm kind of waddling down the hallway towards the coffee machine. And he's like, holy shit, there's this huge spider. I'm like, huh? It was right next to my face on the wall. And it was, at least a good 6 inches across. And he's like freaking out. I mean, I haven't had coffee yet. So no, that's not 6 inches, honey. You wish. But yeah. So I hadn't had coffee yet, so I'm not in the mood. So he's just watched me go and just splat this thing all up the wall with my bare hand. He actually made noises. He was like, I don't even know what the noise was, but there was this weird whistly squeal that came out of him.
Nasty, smashing. Yeah.
Translation: don't piss her off early in the morning.
Yeah.
At least use a shoe. I've been like, okay, but her hand, I was like,
well, if by the time they're huntsmen, by the time I go and get a shoe and come back, I don't know where he's gone. Those things are fast.
Well, I mean, if she's willing to do that to a spider after just waking up, you know, if she gets really mad after just waking up, you might want to be nice.
Oh yeah.
So I do have a question for you guys.
Okay.
Feel free to skip over it if this is too personal. But do y'all guys have a family? Let's hear about you guys.
We have 2 boys.
Yep.
They're 9 and 17 years old. We were kind of hoping for another one, but after 3 years of trying, unfortunately, we've been informed that without a lot of help, it's really not a possibility. So we've had to kind of let that boat sail by.
Yeah, I feel that. I cannot have kids either. I've been married to my wife. This October will be 5 years. 5 years, I think.
Nice.
And we can't have kids either. So it's a hard ship to let go. I will tell you that. But
I still have moments where, our friends will bring the babies over or something. And I love babies. So I'm just like,
it's that fever. It's that fever.
I won't put it down. I will carry them everywhere with me. And I still get a little sad and a little teary, and he knows it. So he brings me lots of donuts.
That is a good husband right there. Oh, by the way,
for all his tough exterior, he is actually a very, very good husband.
Try.
I feel that.
That's all he feels that.
Wait,
try.
That guy feels that. Yeah, that way.
Yes.
I forgot it's inverted. I will say this. We do hope you guys watch this when it airs. But Mr. 17-year-old, we know what you did. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we know what you did.
I know.
He hasn't seen it yet. My car's a little messed up, but it's okay. It's just a car, and you know what? At some point, everybody hits something.
Right.
I'd rather it be another parked car than something on the other side of the freeway.
Look, if it makes you feel any type of better, I flipped my truck on a parked car.
Tell them how.
That's what I mean. It's a little.
Talent.
It's a
Okay.
little.
No. Wait. Yes. Tell them how.
So
horrifying, but it's just a little fender bender, and now it puts that fear in them to be so much more aware.
exactly.
Oh yeah.
So I would much
100%.
rather a little fender bender. I'm like, this is why we have insurance. Don't even worry about it. It's cool. He's crying. He was out there crying. I'm like, it's okay. Don't worry about it. It's just the car.
It's cool. It's fun. Yeah. You're out here in your face paint and everything, and you're just like, it's fun. And then the neighbors are like, okay.
Oh yeah, we have neighbors. I'm like, I'll talk to you in a bit.
They're like, wow, these insurance people are really going in for it. Like,
oh yeah, before she came down, like I'll go down to the gas station and get drinks and stuff, and I knew the guys that work there, and I go to the grocery store and then go back home and start making my videos, and in between I take breaks. They all knew me. Then when she came down, we moved to a different city.
The neighbors freaked out.
Yeah, the neighbors were like looking at us. We're all like, just giving that look.
We'd be outside, sitting in our backyard, having a break, and the neighbors are like all pressed up against their glass, going like. And I'd be like.
That is the reaction I aspire to.
If it makes y'all feel any better, I would totally buy y'all a beer, both of you, and be like, I love your face paint. That's kind of how me and Tank are. We're not.
We get 2 kinds of reactions. We either get people looking at us like, oh my God, or we get people going, can I touch it?
Yeah. When I first did the makeup and everything, and I go in public, the weirdest thing was when I started getting recognized. People were like, I know who you are. I'm like, you do? What is this, good or bad?
Funny story though.
Yeah, they would come up to me and actually ask if they could touch my face. And I'm like, yeah.
No touchy.
And then I got
no touchy.
ones that just come up and they just go. And I'm like, whoa, like, what are you doing? They're like,
I've literally been standing there having a conversation. I just have a finger or a hand go. I'm like, whoa, personal space. No touching.
Bubble.
Right, it's my bubble.
No, it's actually hilarious though, because our son being 17 goes to high school. And he comes home one day, he's all sad. I'm like, what's the matter, baby? He goes, Mom, half my friends follow you and they're watching your TikToks in the hallway and I don't like it.
That's great though.
But they don't know you're my mom.
And we're like, we're gonna go to high school.
So we're gonna come into high school like this and just follow him around for a little while.
How does that feel to have that, I guess, mysterious behind you guys, the mysterious platform?
It makes life a lot easier. There is actually a reason for it.
Yeah.
I had a severe TikTok stalker.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That got really, really, really out of hand. Like
restraining order out of hand, or
beyond that.
Beyond that. Oh.
Beyond that. So after that, when I transitioned over to Lulu, we got rid of all my old videos. We got rid of my old account. We scrapped everything to do with that. So there was no possibility of it happening again, and came back under new names with face paint and all the rest of it. And just we had a discussion, decided we're just going to keep it the way it is.
Yeah.
Because it got
that
to
makes
the point
sense.
where this person started harassing the kids.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
And that was the absolute, we're done with this. No more.
Yeah, and it's not hard to find somebody just by knowing how they look like, and if you really want to find them. And these people, they have a lot of time on their hands to do it. But no, it's weird at some points, because we've had to where people, like, we'll be in an airport somewhere and we're watching somebody watch our videos.
That's weird.
And it's nice. It's actually kind of cool to actually see the person's reaction and how they react to our videos and stuff. And then our friends, like my friends,
half of them know, half of them don't.
Yeah. Some were like, "Hey, dude, you got to check out these videos."
And they're showing us our own videos.
So I'm looking at the video. I'm like, they're all right.
You're like, that guy's pretty ugly. I don't.
I have been pegged once though by actual airport security.
Really?
I had on one of our merch shirts,
Mhm.
and I had no idea what's going on. I'm going through, and I heard suddenly hear this woman go, "Hey, you!" And I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like, it's airport security. I'm like, "What did I do? Did I forget to take something out of my pocket, whatever?" And she walks up to me and she got real close. And I'm like, she goes, "You're Lulu." I'm like, "Oh shit." And she just like bear hugged me. And like all the other security guards are freaking out thinking she's tackling me to the floor. And they're all right over. And she's like, "It's Lulu. Oh my God, I love you."
I'm over there pretty past security, looking at my legs, looking over there. I'm like,
he's looking back, and I've got like 4 security guards grabbing a hold of me. He thinks I'm getting taken away.
I'm like, do I run or do I sit here and videotape this?
Oh, speaking of running, he is an absolute ass. Every time we go into Walmart or anything like that, if the security thing goes off when we're walking out, as it randomly does, he just immediately screams, "She did it!" and takes off running and just leaves me there.
That's great. That's great. My wife would do that. 100%.
I'm gonna do that to my wife.
It's fun. Well, I mean, because I'm like, for one, I'm like, we're gonna keep them on their toes, and I want to see their reaction.
Right.
2, I'm tattooed and bald, and I'm a Chicano, so it's in my nature to keep running. Your sirens run.
And it's funny though, because being Hispanic and everything, and me, I can't get any whiter. Like, I could double as a nightlight. I glow in the dark. Like, it doesn't get any whiter than me. Covered in freckles. I'm so pale.
Well,
but it is funny though, because I do see people treat him different to me, and it's been my biggest struggle moving to the U.S.
Yeah, so we're from the South, and yeah,
Ding, 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 ding.
we've had our run-ins with stuff like that, but at one point I worked for the railroad, so I went all through the north, like Montana and Nebraska and all that. And we get a lot of flack down here. They're like, "Oh, the South is racist as hell," and da 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 da. I thought we were, and then I went up to like Nebraska and South Dakota and all that, and went into some restaurants with a couple of coworkers, and I'm just like, why? Like, I thought we were bad, but no.
Being from Australia, it's not a thing over there. Like, we are probably one of the most multicultural countries in the world. You name it, we got it. and we're all very respectful of each other. And those who aren't respectful have learned very quickly to keep it to themselves. So it's just not really a thing. And here I see it so often. It is something I have a little bit of a temper. And if I see stuff like that, I have to intervene. Because if I see a wrong, I have to try and right it. I'm like, no. And he has to constantly say, just let it go. Just go that way.
Yeah. I have fun with it. I've learned to just, I mean, it doesn't bother me. I have fun with it. Like we're moving down here to South Padre. We had an RV and stuff, and I get out. I'm white t-shirt, grungy looking, and I look like guys came out of prison.
He does.
I go to the gas station, pay, come out, and getting ready to jump in the RV and everything, and people are like looking at me, and they're like, "Is that your RV?" I'm like, "Shh, don't ask where I got it, eh?" Nice. Check you later. Jump in there, take off.
He starts to mess up with them. We're out walking the dogs, and one lady came out and started yelling at him. What'd she call you?
I don't remember now.
I don't remember. She called and she's like, "You haven't come and mowed my lawn."
I'm like,
ooh.
And he turns around and he's like, "Oh, sorry, I say I'll come back later. Yeah, I gotta go get my cousins." And he goes, "I'm gonna come back and fuck up her whole yard."
I'm gonna so mess up that yard. And see, and with our business, I thought it was actually someone I had to work for. So it took me a little while to register. I'm looking at him like, do I know it? I'm like, no, I don't think I ever did any business with you. And then it dawned on me and I'm like, how did she mistake me? And I'm like, okay, all right. Yeah, check it out, man. I'll come by there with my cousins. We'll do your yard good, eh? Don't worry. My cousin just came out of prison. He's got a shank, sharp. We'll cut your grass and make it look good.
We got this. So wait, y'all guys, are y'all both Hispanic?
No,
I am.
just him.
Just him? Okay. And so he has all these tattoos and stuff on his arm, so they just immediately assume, hey, he just got out of prison.
Pretty much.
It's hard because we run a business together. So we actually live together, TikTok together, and work together. We are together 24 hours a day. But I see it even then. We'll have clients call up and we'll go out there now. He does outside departments. His inside department is mine. Mm-hmm. But they will sit there and completely ignore him and direct all their comments to me like I'm the boss. And I'm like, you got to talk to him. I don't know how to do that.
Hey,
don't ask me.
The way, I try to let people know that, it's, you got to just let it go. It's part of everything. It's part of everyday life. Little by little, we'll get rid of it, but if you can have fun with it and just be able to shrug it off and just make the best of the situation. I mean, it actually makes more impact than, because a lot of people, they have apologized and they're like, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't judge the book by its cover.
What's the weirdest compliment you ever got given? You're so well spoken for an ethnic person.
You are very well spoken. Charlie, check it out. Got my GED in prison, eh? But no.
But just to clarify, he has never been to prison.
No.
I mean, in our defense, if you saw Tank in person, he's intimidating. Like I'm sorry, but
I'm you, but white. I'm bald, tattooed. Not you. I'm bald, bald, tattooed, big as hell, 6'4", 325 pounds. I am a large man, and most people, when they look at me, and if I'm going down the sidewalk, they'll cross the street.
Mm-hmm.
Oh heck yeah!
They do that to him.
Yeah, I get used to it though. I mean, you get used to it, so you understand where.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I bet you're my guy. Well, unless people cross you,
And then he's an asshole.
Yeah, but I mean, even then, it takes unless it's like a certain topic, it takes a lot to piss me off. Just because, I mean, like you, not along the same lines, but I've dealt with bullshit growing up as well. Because I've always been a large person, and regardless of what you look like, they're just going to make their assumptions without getting to know you, which is stupid, but that's unfortunately the way society rolls right now.
Yeah, true.
He laughs at me. He says he's married to 3 different women.
Y'all should read that.
Before I came over here, like I grew up in the country, like literally middle ass of nowhere. There was nothing. We had one set of traffic lights and one grocery store. and it was a 15-minute drive to get to those.
Good
So
Lord.
I worked in nursing.
Mhm.
I became a nurse and worked in nursing, then opened my own business and sold that to come here. But when I was over there, I worked with the government, and I was actually had to do corporate events and functions. And he'd see me, and I'd be like, I'm sorry, I'm disinclined to acquiesce to your request. And he's like, you can be so proper. And then I'm like, okay, have a lovely day. I turn like, fuck that bitch. And he's like, what the hell?
I just want to say I love how she pulls out Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Parlay.
When he first saw me, he only saw the real me, which is the chick with the long ponytail and the glasses and the oversized hoodies. I love oversized hoodies. I had a collection, and every hoodie had a matching baseball cap.
Nice.
Well, I do have to ask you guys another thing, because somebody was ill prepared and doesn't have questions.
I have questions. I'm just enjoying
We
their
figure we'll
stories.
scramble on and let it take its own course, and you can edit later.
Well,
Yeah.
see, that's what we normally do. Most of the time we have questions, but probably 90% of the time we take that left turn and we never get to them anyway.
Yeah. Last video, our last interview we did, it was a filmmaker over in Alabama called Door Number 3 Films, and we started talking about their movie, and then somehow or another we started talking about food.
Nice.
I don't.
We ended up on Taco Bell somehow.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't quite remember how.
I love Taco Bell. I
I
stopped doing it.
Taco Bell. I took one bite out of it and spat that crap back in the back.
It's like I tell everybody, I go to Taco Bell because I like tacos and I'm broke.
That's very.
Yeah, that's the best place to go. It's so
Here's
cheap.
the funny part, though. He married the whitest white person ever, and yet I make the most bomb-ass tacos from scratch with homemade flour, tortillas, and everything.
So what I'm hearing is group party at the park near your house, and you're making tacos.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Oh no, we do property management. If we're throwing a party, we're going to get one of the beach houses.
Look, you just got a security guy. All you gotta do is pay me in tacos.
Right, there we go.
I don't know what I can contribute. You just got a guy.
I do that. I go all out. Like I do the slow cooked pork or beef, and I'll actually shred it all and season it up. No ground meat in here.
And yet you're married to the Hispanic guy. Didn't your mom teach you anything?
To eat.
To eat.
To eat.
He said to eat.
But he's got the best of all worlds when it comes to food, though, because I struggle here in the States. The first 3 months that I was here, I was sick all the time. And I mean, physically throwing up sick. And my stomach hurt. I felt like crap. And it wasn't until we actually got our own place and I started cooking at home that I stopped getting sick. And we realized, like, even yesterday, we stopped and I had soup and salad. 30 minutes later, I was in the car throwing up. All the chemicals and preservatives and additives in the food here, my body just can't process them. They make me physically sick.
Man, I wish that was me.
I
save a
love
lot
cooking.
of money.
I love cooking, and I don't just cook, I also bake.
Mhm.
So he yells at me all the time. He says I make way too much food.
Heck yeah.
Way too much food.
I'm like, we having guests come over or something? A big old party? Because there's only 4 of us.
Like Gordon Ramsay is my hero. I love that man. I would almost leave you for him. Almost, not quite.
Almost.
I'll set up a FedEx account, and anytime you have excess, just ship it to me, and I'll pay for the shipping.
I tell you what, I will ship you some of my special coconut cookies.
Oh,
They're
down.
his favorite.
I'm down. I will give them a try. I'm not a huge fan on coconut, but I will give them a try.
In these you will be.
Okay.
Challenge accepted.
They're a
Challenge
shortbread
accepted.
with shredded coconut rolled into the dough, and then I press the top in. I actually put hot raspberry jelly in there and let it melt, and then
Ooh.
set. And then if you're extra lucky, I put a little bit of white chocolate on top.
You just made a fat man happy.
But no, so when I come over here cooking too, y'all overdo a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Way overdue. And Australians eat really healthy. We don't have a lot of fast food in Australia. Very little of it. So I started cooking. He's looking at the food like, what the hell is this? Like, yeah, he was like, but he got used to it. And then I got used to the food here. So now I cook Australian, American, Mexican.
Nice.
I cook all of it.
All of it.
So good.
See, at one point, I too worked for the government, but it was more of a traveling thing. You know, with the military, you get to go all over the place. So I've had food over in China and Japan and Singapore and Thailand and all that. And good God, is it so good?
Do you want to hear actually a hilarious thing our son did? Because
What you got?
he's my child, so he's special. He has special moments. When we went to, he was telling him, because I've traveled most of the world.
Yeah.
And I'll come back and he's like, yeah, I went to China, but guess what? In China, they don't call it Chinese food. They just call it food. And I'm like, you're a very special boy.
Oh, I have fun with them.
He messes with him all the time.
Like only that's a mentality only a mother can love. Oh wait.
He's the one that just backed into the neighbor's car. So
He's gonna watch this and be like, guys, why are y'all making fun of me?
oh, we make fun of him to his face all the time. He's got thick skin.
That's good.
You have to be in this madhouse.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, you need that in general these days.
Oh yeah, I mean, and you know, and he's
Everybody's too sensitive.
and he's really good at understanding and learning stuff. You know, he's starting to realize, you know, there's a lot of stuff that a lot of people take in a certain way and let it affect them. And I'm trying to get him to understand, you know, it's like you could have the worst thing in life possible happen to you. It'll be rough. It'll be tough.
But when you're at the bottom, there's nowhere to go but up.
You gotta know how to handle it and approach it and keep moving forward. Because and we all know we're gonna come through a certain time where we will, losing somebody or something, losing a job or not getting what we want in life.
Or backing into the car after I've told him 100 times, turn your music down and look where you're going.
So when you're well prepped mentally for it, it's not it doesn't impact you as hard as anybody else, and you can move forward. You can help people. I mean, like that's what I do. My way of venting and getting through life was actually doing these videos as this character, and this was my escape. This was my therapy, and I started realizing my therapy turned out to be somebody else's therapy, and I didn't expect that. I really did not.
It does. Like when we get those comments, like, "Oh, we watch you every day. I come check out your stuff every day," or "I really needed a smile today. Thank you." Like all that. We love those comments. Like they mean the world to us.
But he's doing really good though, and I give him a hard time. I'm always messing with him. This kid, he does not know where to believe me, trust me anymore. He's like, "Are you messing with me?"
He messes with him so much. Everything he says, he'll hesitate and watch his face before he'll answer, just to see if he's messing with him or not.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is Dad's an asshole. Got it.
Oh, absolutely.
Totally.
How you see us in our videos is a watered down version of how we are every day.
Pretty much.
So what's the thought process behind y'all's videos? How do y'all come up with the content?
It's funny though, when we first got together, we used to kind of sit down and plan them out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But we've just done it so often together now. We'll hear a sound and like people are like, "Oh, it must take you hours and hours and hours." We're like, not really. We'll pick a sound or we'll have a joke, or half the time he doesn't even know what I'm doing. I'll have him walk into a blind. And we'll only have to hear it once. And then I'll be like, okay. And we don't even talk about it. We just get in and we just kind of work around each other. Like, I don't know. We've just done it for so long now. We don't really have to think about it anymore.
And a lot of the videos, so we, like, when I first started out, a lot of it just, we hear something funny and we're like, we'll be like, we would sit there and see a video and we'd talk about it, like, you know what, like, I think we could do that better. I'll do this. And we would start talking like what we would do. And we're like, then we would make the video. And we're like, let's do it with our flavor on it. And then there are videos where we're like, let's do this, do that, and we'll do our own voices and we'll change a few things. There's
especially a lot of cussing when we do it in our own voices. We're redoing a social media friendly version.
And but a lot of the videos, when we hear certain audios or we watch certain clips and shows and movies, we're like, that's totally us. We could do that. And then we'll look at each other and we're like, let's take that clip and do it. And there's times where we actually use the clips because we want to give respect to the people that actually like the show or the movie or whoever did the clips. It was just our way of saying, that's it's not our audio.
And sometimes
but
it's fun to throw it in there and to see if people can figure it out.
Oh yeah.
Where it come from.
Oh, well, we've done videos where people think we're singing. I'm like,
I can't sing
no.
for shit.
So no, that's not me.
I do want to
videos though. If it kind of suits Juju and Lulu, we know automatically.
And
we're
that's
like,
the hardest part. Like we get thousands of messages every day. I mean, thousands of messages. We do our best.
And you got through to them, Tank. Good job.
We do.
It's hard.
I
It is
try.
hard. Like I would say on an average, we get anywhere between 2,000 and 7,000 messages a day.
Jeez.
Good Lord.
It's a lot because there is Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook.
Yeah.
So it just pours in, and I do my very best to actually answer everybody. So does he. We'll actually set aside 2 hours a day just for messages. And he'll be on one phone, and I'll be on the other phone, and we're just going through, clicking all the unread ones and doing our best, reading them to each other. And we really love our fans, and we try to make as much time for them as we can. But we don't open any links people send us. But the hardest part is when people want to do video suggestions. They're like, I want you to do this sound, or I want you to do that sound. I'm like, we love the suggestions, guys. We appreciate the effort, but we're very selective on the sounds that we do. And people get butthurt about it. They're like, oh, well, you're just ignoring me. I'm like, no, I've said no because there's a reason I said no. I said I appreciate the suggestion, but like we've got the next 6 months worth already lined up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I get that because, suggestions are wonderful, but it's not always a topic that I guess you could cover, because it could be something they think is wonderful, but it ends up being something that you're like, it's a touchy subject, and I don't know if I want to put my hands on that.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. And we do listen and watch, or if we're not familiar with what they're because most of them are like movie clips or sounds or music videos, just like that. I'm like, I never heard of this. I'll look at it and I'll be like, don't feel it. I go, hey man, I appreciate it, but it's not us. And I'm straightforward. I'm like, I am blunt. I'm sorry. And people, they get hurt. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'd rather be honest, straightforward than beat around the bush and make you believe that I like it when I really don't. I mean, that's
it's
your
the
cup
same
of
as
tea,
when
not
people
mine.
they'll send us other people's stuff and they're like, do this, and we're like, look guys, we do our own stuff. We put our original flavor, our original spins. Like we don't copy what other people do. We do our own thing. So as much as I love the suggestion, no thank you.
Yeah,
that's fair. We kind of do the same thing. We unfortunately we unfortunately have not had a lot of suggestions for our podcast yet. We tell people, hey, type down here, tell us what you want us to talk about, tell us who you want on, things like that. But see, I agree with both of you guys that I don't know why people get hurt over it. It's not being mean. It's more of saying, like, if you told me to talk about something, hey, this is what happened to, I don't know, Jay-Z or whatever, or there's controversy. I'm not going to touch that. Thank you, though, respectfully. But then people still get upset about it. So I agree where you guys are coming from. Mm-hmm. People should know y'all guys are not just being dicks. Y'all guys are being like, hey, we got our own thing planned out.
And it is hard. Like people, and this is where we don't hesitate. We're like, there's the door. Like we will just show them the door instantly. I take no crap whatsoever. We have zero tolerance for bullies.
Yeah.
And that's not just bullies on our videos. It's anyone in our comments. If they're bullying any of our followers, they will get yeeted so fast. But not before I go and send them a private message as to why.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah,
I'll always send them a private message and explain to them exactly what they did, how it's wrong, and why they're no longer welcome on our page. And then I'll block them.
They'll be like, no, not even a defense block.
Yeah.
There is no defense. We had somebody fat shaming one of our followers in the comment section yesterday. Mm-hmm. And I went and dealt with that so quickly.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, the one thing people don't understand is...
The person that did do it, I went and had a look, and his mom was heavy set. So I made sure to screenshot all those messages and send them directly to his mom.
Oh, yeah. Guys on Facebook, if you guys have, your own page, personal, and you decide to make a comment on our page, be well known that everybody's gonna know about it. All your friends, all your coworkers, everybody that's on your page. Basically, it's just a way of saying, if this is how if you're gonna act this on our page, then be like that everywhere else. If not,
it's
then
hard
don't come to our
because
page.
everybody's like, oh, just ignore it, just ignore it, just ignore it. And this is where we refuse. And this is kind of our personal stand on things. The fact that everyone has become so used to it that it has become normal is concerning. So everyone's like, oh, it's just trolling. Like, it even has a term. It's trolling. It's become such a common thing. It has its own name and its own term. And people are like, oh, just ignore it. Not on our page. We don't. Mm-hmm. Goodbye. Not tolerated. People need to realize it's not normal and it's not okay.
I 100% agree.
Ignoring the problem don't make it go away.
No. We are a podcast.
I very rarely publicly shame anybody. I go and address it to them in private.
That's fair. We are,
and if necessary, I'll send it to their mom.
We are a podcast. So our producer, we got under him, which is the Bearded Bear Entertainment. We are a very positive podcast. We are the type of people that if you see us at a con, we want you to come over there. If you are tired, your sensory overload is high or something of the other, come here. We're a safe space. We will talk to you. We will get you down back to earth because I have sensory overload too. And I just kind of shut down. So I know how that is. Yeah. So when somebody comes to, or if somebody was to come to our table and be like, there's just too many people at this con, I don't know what to do. Like, hey, it's fine. Here's a freaking Snickers bar. Talk to us if you need to. That's what we want. I fully agree. We just don't. Fortunately, right now we have not had any bullies in our stuff. But if we do, I promise you, either me or Tank will do something about it.
We talk a lot of shit through everything: Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, in person, whatever. But all we're doing is poking the bear, so to speak. It's fun, it's banter, it's shit that we do every day, whether it's online or just us hanging out at my apartment or whatever. When it comes down to it, bullies,
it's 4 words.
General disrespect. What?
4 words. It's 4 words we live by. What are those 4 words?
Oh yeah, don't be a dick.
I love that.
If there's a difference between being a dick and being playful about it, like the jokes me and him make to each other, the jokes me and my wife make.
So in other words, there's a difference between having a dick and playing with your dick.
Exactly.
We play with it all the time. That's why it's outside.
More than 2 shakes, then you're just playing with it.
But we're trying to really kind of bring people back to the awareness that this is not an okay behavior. And I don't know if y'all have seen, we share on our page a lot, Tom Coverly.
Yes, I actually follow him. That's the Influenced.
I would definitely pull him in for one of your podcasts. I think he would definitely be interested in that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Do y'all know
want him and
he's
Sin.
Not TV hosting.
What?
Do you know what Tom does when he's not TV hosting?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so Tom actually travels around the states to high schools and teaches teenagers about bullying and suicide prevention.
Oh, that's
full time.
I did not know that.
Not many people do, and that's why we are such a huge supporter of Tom. Like, Tom's not just our friend, like in real life, but we love his cause. We love what he does, and that's why we're always sharing his stuff and getting the awareness out there, because everyone's just like, oh, famous TV host. No, he dedicates probably 90% of his year to teenage bullying.
Yeah.
Well, speaking on that topic, last year? I think it was last year. Jason David Frank, took his own life because of reasons. And at Fayetteville Comic-Con, they ended up doing a tribute coin to him. And it's the green power coin.
That's cool.
But on the back, it's American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. I don't know if you can see that or not.
Yeah.
But it's like a little memento of him and his memory, because he was a childhood hero. but it's also I think all the proceeds went to the suicide prevention. So that's a topic near and dear to my heart in and of
Absolutely.
itself.
But as I said, that's why most people don't even realize how they literally travel around in their van from school to school to school. I think on 6 months straight at the moment.
Yeah.
6 months straight run. He's spoken to millions of kids.
Jay, we're gonna have to reach out to him.
And
Absolutely.
it may take
well,
just
I will reach out to and let him know to look for your message.
Okay. Let Sin know as well, because I'd like to have him on here too.
Oh, you're in trouble.
I will say
I don't know if his head's gonna fit in the frame.
Yeah, it's kind of big. A little top heavy.
Nah.
Sin's
He's
awesome.
a good guy. He's one of those guys that he's straightforward like us and everything. We talk, and I mean we actually talk to each other like straightforward, like friend talk. It's like, dude, there's time I'll be like, we'll pull him back and be like, hey, chill, calm down. But he knows we're being, honest friends and good friends to him. We're like, dude, we're just trying to make sure you meet, what your agenda is and what you're trying to do in life. And we don't want, we want to see you pursue it and get to that point. We don't want anything to stop you from doing it, because
and it is
some of the
hard,
stuff he does is like, you got to
especially in this industry, like we get a lot of haters.
Oh, heck
Yeah.
A lot of haters, and you have to be thick-skinned. You have to know how to deal with that.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we've gotten as far as we have with this podcast, because me and Jay kind of do that for each other. One of us will go one way and just start getting in our feelings or whatever, and the other will pull them aside and be like, "Hey, you good? Is there something you need to talk about, or is there something bothering you? Something along those lines." Just to, I guess, check on each other, make sure we're good, and we stay in line as to what we want to put out there and the message that we want to put out as well.
Oh, yeah. And and the thing is, like I said, when I first started out on social media, I was very shy. I was nervous and scared, because I was like, my first thought was, what if they don't like my video? What if they make fun of me? What if, and then I started realizing like, why am I afraid? I mean, it's me, whether they like me or not, I'm not gonna let that keep me from doing what I do. If I would have done that, we wouldn't be here. Like, I would have never done this.
I'm the opposite. I was like, absolutely not. No way. Can't do it. Won't do it. Can't make me. And that's where he just grabs me by it. That's where that swinging thing come in. Because he will literally just grab me and drop me in front of the camera and be like, go.
How did y'all do that, by the way? I know y'all did a video where you grabbed her and she's swinging, and I'm like, what kind of optical illusion is that?
He's just that strong.
So just everybody asks that all the time, and I love answering it. And it's done with nothing but just our imagination. It's done with just literally our phone camera, and that's it.
No editing, no green screen, no nothing.
Yeah, we are just now starting to tap into doing some green screen.
Yeah, we got a green screen kit, so we're gonna play with it.
So
nice.
With the green screen, what I'm trying to do is basically minimize it to where it's not so hard for someone who wants to do it to where they can learn it and do it at home. You don't have to have special, you don't have to have all this fancy equipment, money.
I was laughing the other day when people messaging us and they're like, "Who's your film crew?
I know, I'm like,
who does your makeup? How many people do you have in a filming session? Where's your studio?" I'm like, it's in our bedroom, and we are the film crew, and we are the sound people, and we have a ring light. That's it.
Yeah. So basically, when we talk and stuff, I have a lot of friends and stuff. They're like, "Hey, you got to try the software out." And I'm like, no. I go, "I appreciate it. Thank you so much." They're like, "Well, why won't you?" And I go, "I want to make it to where people can actually use their imagination, tap into that childhood, that child inside." And when we used to play out and outside, we used our imaginations. That's how a lot of things happen, is because we actually work that muscle. I want people to make sure understand that anybody can do this. It's not hard. Don't.
It is hard, but it takes
but
work.
not like in a sense where you got I heard people like, "Oh, well, once I get this, get that, I'll do it." I'm like, why don't you just do it now? You don't have to have all this. Just start somewhere. So it's just basically our imagination, a phone, camera, and just how we do it. And I say to people all the time, they're like, when they're saying, I said, no, it is
hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of practice.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Practice. It's like anything you do, whether you want to ride a unicycle, walk stilts, be a gymnast, it's just practice and repetition. And you should see our blooper reel, most of which are not appropriate to post on social media, by the way. We have one we're doing. I'll get him to send it to you in the message. Yeah. But we've got one where he's standing there and I was supposed to go off the screen and then pop up over here. And as I'm going down, he's just grabbing my back of the head and he's like, and then he dropped me on the floor.
Well, so here's the thing. So one of the things I try to watch out for is like, okay, when I'm watching doing videos or we're doing some things, I'm like, what I'm watching for is, okay, are people going to try to come in and troll on this and make fun of something that, this video is not supposed to be. I don't want to lose that attention to what we're trying to do. And so I told her, I told her, I go, I want you to kind of just back off, go around, and then come back. And she's like, well, I'm going to do this. I'm like, okay.
I'm going to teach you a lesson.
I'm going to teach you a lesson. Go ahead and do what you're going to do. So she does it, and as soon as she goes down, I just grab her and air hump her face, and she falls down.
But in saying that, we have a friend who did the same transition over and over and over, where, that one where they bob down the screen and they pop back up as something else. So him being him, turned around, he's like, babe, come stand here for me. I'm like, why? And put this black hat on. I'm like, why? He's like, just do it. I'm like, fine. So I come around and he stitched the video. When they bob down, he's grabbing the head going. And he posted it.
But that's my humor, though. I mean,
yeah.
So anyhow, like, and these are people, and we're friends and stuff, and we've talked, and I try to, when people come ask me for help or suggestions, I'll be like, yeah, you don't want to, if you're willing to take the comments that come within the punches, I mean, if you're willing to take punches, by all means, have fun doing it. But on the same token, don't sit there and be like, if you look at the video making, what the possibilities and what comments they could come up with.
And people, unfortunately, a lot of times don't want honesty.
Yeah.
They don't.
Like, I'm ready for it. I'm always ready for it. I'm like, you know what? Bring it. I don't care. There's nothing you can say that's going to really bother me. There's times like, I'll make a whole new video with it. I don't care. But, a lot of people come ask for help. They're like, hey, what this now? I'm like, well, don't do this.
Can we get help with makeup? Can we get help with, where do I start? And we try to tell people the same thing all the time. A lot of people don't understand cosplay. They don't understand it. It's not the same as grabbing a Halloween costume and dressing up for Halloween. It is a lot of work. Like, your character has to have a name, a personality, a backstory, like a originality. Like it's basically, you got to write a little mini novel for your character and go from there. Who are they? Where'd they come from? What's their personality? What do they like and don't like? It's literally like making a mini person. And from there on, you then got to make your character come to life. And it's a lot of work. And we get people all the time, and they don't want to hear it. And they come in, I'm like, okay, go think of your character, think of what you want to do, think of how you want it to look, and bring it back to me.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, they come on and they've got, no offense, but the worst face paint I've ever seen in my life. And they're like, how do I look? I just made 20 videos and posted them. I'm like, remember that whole conversation I had where I told you Juju took 3.5 months to develop his makeup look and practice his videos in private and all this before he posted? You can't, it's not something that can be rushed. It takes time. I got a cheat code because he already developed it all. I just kind of made my own version of it and jumped in there.
Yeah, we try to prevent people falling on their faces, because we already know, we're like, okay, are you ready to get the comments? Are you ready? Like, what if someone says you look like this and this and that? How are you going to react to it? Is that going to stop you? Is that going to make you, be like, I hate myself. I don't like my makeup. I'm not good. I'm not perfect. And it's like, no, if you're not ready for that yet,
take your time.
Take your time, and then work through yourself, and prepare yourself. Say, you know what? This is something you want to do because you love it. This is something that makes you happy. Then do it. But don't not let somebody just come in and say the simplest comment and that be the end of it and stop. Because I've had a lot of people who are like, I'm going off TikTok. Which I understand. It's hard.
We love the I'm leaving TikTok.
Yeah.
That's one of my personal internal giggles, I'm sorry to say.
But we try to get them to understand. We get a lot. Like, the ones that I love is cringe. This is so cringy.
Cringy.
Like, Yeah, it is. You know, but
Someone
you're still
put-
watching.
Someone put cringe on one of our videos yesterday, and I went over to him and I wrote, "Wow, a grown-ass man is trolling like a 12-year-old girl and using the word cringe. That is definitely scary."
But you know, I know other people. You know, if they got that same comment, it would affect them. You know, pretty bad. They're you know, it's hard not to. People will take that as, you know, very insulting, and they'll feel like, you know, they are, you know, not
People want to give up too easy.
perfect, or, you know, it's like, who cares?
But no, I
Yeah.
I said the whole I'm leaving TikTok thing's hilarious to me. It's always, I'm done, I'm leaving TikTok, but I have to do a big announcement about it. You know, Oliver, I'm leaving TikTok. And I'll always go in there and go, see you tomorrow.
We understand, but we're also not, you know, we're trying to, you know, when you know us, we're the people that try to toughen you up because we care.
Yeah.
But we'll be like, you know, like,
See you tomorrow.
we'll see you tomorrow. Farewell, TikTok.
Like, but we all know they're gonna go cry and they're gonna come back and I'll see him in a day or two. And it's like, and I say to people, if you're having issues and stuff, don't announce it and all that, because all you're doing is feeding the trolls.
Yeah, and
They're like, yay, we made her cry.
Yeah,
Just
you're giving
don't
them,
say anything. Go take a break. Come back.
you're
It's
giving
all
them that
still
one
gonna
little
be here.
win, you know. And there are a lot of people that, you know, that they love it, and when I say that they love it and this and that, I've spoken to a bunch of people who've done trolling. I've actually got to meet them and talk to them.
Remember on TikTok, all those little hamsters that were running around?
Mhm.
Yeah.
He got named the Hamster King for a month.
Yeah.
Nice.
He befriended the hamster people.
So what they were doing, they were going around TikTok, going to people's lives, videos, and basically making them either quit making videos or interrupt
their
the
live
live,
out.
and then, you know,
Get them to snap in their lives.
shut
so
the
they
live
get it
down.
Taken down.
And I know, you know, and they'll come in groups like 1,000. It's like 1 minute you'll be like 400 people or 200 people in your live. Next thing you know, it's just, you see the numbers is growing, and then you see all these trolls come in. They're making comments, trying to get your reaction to it. Once you react, it's like swinging at a couple of bees. The whole hive comes in. So when I started noticing in the lives and stuff, I'm telling my friends, I'm like, hey, don't react to it, ignore it, don't. And then they're like, they can't help it, and they'll push that right button, and I see them react. Oh, then they start reacting to the troll, and I'm like, oh yeah, abort, and then the live gets taken down. So one of my lives, I'm in my live in my makeup and everything, and I start seeing the hamsters pop in. I see them trolling, and I'm like, okay, watching the comments. I'm like, and I'm kind of giggling myself. I'm like, that's a good one. I like that. I've never heard that one before. But, you know, I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, so how am I going to react to this? How am I going to respond to this? So I'm like, you know what? I start talking. I'm like, hey, so what is it you guys do? What, you know, you guys
Who
like,
are you?
know, yeah. And I start getting to talk to them. I go, who can I talk to on Instagram? Who has Instagram? You guys want to talk and chat? We just talk, you know, just me and you. And there's 3 of them that were like, yeah. And they were kind of surprised. They're like, you're actually cool. And I'm like, yeah, thanks. I'm like, just don't take my live down. They're like,
No, you're safe.
yeah. They're like, no, you're safe. But I saw them all pop in there, and they all just start questioning, like, ooh, what are you supposed to be? I'm like,
So it turns out when he goes and talks to them, you know how they'll have the little numbers at the end of their names? That's how many lives they've taken out.
Oh.
So they start asking me, you know, questions where I'm like, I'm not offended by it. I'm like, you know what? And they're like, you look stupid. I'm like, yeah. I go, some people think I look stupid. Yeah. I mean, hey, it is what it is, right? I mean, you know, this is for some people, it ain't for others. But hey, anyway, I start talking to them again on Instagram, talk to them, and they find out they're kids. And I'm like, okay,
It's a big gaming.
What's going on? What are you guys doing? And they're like, well, we get bored. We go game. And we have our group, and we decide, you know, there's some lives and people that they were irritated by, and they got tired of it. And what it stemmed from was when TikTok took over Musically, Musically was for basically, it was for kids.
Yeah.
So once TikTok took over, adults start coming in, and they're like, you know, this is our app. And I'm like, fair enough. I go, but there are adults who are still kids, and we just want to have fun. Same thing you want. So once I got that across to them, they said, you know, they got bored, they're gaming, and their goal was to see how many lives they could take down. So when they got someone to react and respond to their comments, they'd bring in the whole crew, take that live out, and add it to the number next to their profile and keep moving on. And I'm like, what can I do to stop you guys from doing that for me? You guys
he had to wear hamster ears in all of his lives for a month and change his profile picture to a hamster for 30 days. And he's like, we named you our king.
Yeah, and I was like, so every time they came to my live, I told everybody, I'm like, my moderators and everybody, I'm like, they're cool.
As soon as they pop in the live, the hamster ears would come out and they'd be sitting there.
But it took me to talk to them and understand, and them to talk to me and understand what.
But then there was this stint where they changed from the hamsters to the ghost face, and
yeah.
I got made ghost face queen for 30 days and had to change my profile picture to the scare screen thing.
But there's certain ways to handle certain situations that arise, especially like that. Now, I mean, it could have went differently. It could have went bad for me, but once I found out and talked to him, and I still chat with them, like, what makes them enjoy doing this? And I'm like, so the way I think about it is, it's the same thing I used to do as when I was a kid. I'm gonna go make a car because I'm bored. I'm gonna go, TP someone's house. I'm gonna go, do this. It's the same thing that they're doing. It just depends on our reactions, on how we react to it. And a lot of them, people get mad and they start really, the adults really get angry and they're like, we think it's funny. And I'm like, I can see it. I can see someone throwing a tantrum and being upset.
He still torments me to get me to snap because he thinks it's funny.
Oh, yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, I toy with him all the time.
I've actually got to the point where I've developed like sixth sense where I know he's coming at me with that finger. Whatever I'm doing, it's like, doo-doo. He will get me at the worst times. It's got to the point where he's not even home. I'll be doing the laundry or something, and I'll bend down to pick up the basket, and I'll spin around and cover my butt. Whoa! And then I remember he's not even here. It's not funny, though. Like, the other day, he goose poked me, and I smashed my head on the cupboard.
Oof.
That was hilarious.
It was not hilarious.
He thought it was funny.
He did think it was funny. Though the one time I did it back to him, he doesn't know how to do it back. That's the thing. And I've gone, stuff this. And he goes, go on, then do it. I'm like, I will. So I ran over and I dug deep. I'm not going to lie. I dug up in there. He turned around and farted on me.
Get what you deserve. No,
don't stick your finger in the barrel because it's got one loaded in there all the time.
There's always one in the chamber.
And it was a good one. Two of the other ones that go. But I have no filter, which is why I don't socialize very well. I get really nervous if there's more than one or two people. I have severe ADHD as well. So if people are talking to me and there's too many people talking, my brain can't focus on one. I keep skipping to different parts of people's conversations. So I'm like, okay. Someone just said French toast. So, oh shit, what did you say? Like I'm absolutely hopeless. It's like bunny, squirrel, turtle, like I'm
scrambled eggs.
Yeah, it's like if I'm reading, and he's talking to me, I won't hear him. I can't.
Have a full-blown conversation with her, and I'm like, babe. And she'll look at me, she goes, huh? And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, I just sat here for like 15 minutes talking to you. She's like, what did you say? And I'm like, I'm like, you know what, forget it. I just walk off. I'm like, no, I'm not repeating all that.
So when it comes, like, he's the social butterfly. He gets all that in there. But I also get really nervous, so I have no filter.
Yeah.
And I don't think about what I'm going to say. It just kind of comes out as word vomit. And like when I just moved here. Now his nickname is actually Big Dog. That's the nickname he had for 18 years.
Yeah.
And he got it in the oil fields. But anyway, so just after I got here, we're on our honeymoon. So I woke him up in a very loving way, And we're in the hotel, so we had no coffee. I'm like, I need coffee. So I'm going down to Starbucks. I'm standing in line, and I'm waiting, and I walk up to the counter. I'm like, oh, dog hair. And just wiped it off on my shirt and placed my order. And then I realized that what I'd said, I'm like, the chick behind the counter assumed I meant like the four-legged dog hair, but I really meant it was on a hair. That he's also the reason I can no longer eat bread in public.
Why can't you eat bread in public?
I feel like there's a story there.
Oh,
yeah, there's a story.
It's been 3 years and I will not eat bread in public.
Right, for all those at home watching, grab your tea. That's good. So anyways, we go to a restaurant, and you know how it's a restaurant, they give you bread. We're at Texas Roadhouse. They give this nice, delicious, warm rolls. I love them. I'm like, babe, you're going to love these. Try them. So she gets her bread roll, and she has this little ritual she does. It's weird. So I'm watching her. I'm like, She grabs the roll. She looks at it and like, oh, hi, little buddy. I'm gonna eat
I'm
you.
testing the smushiness.
So I'm watching her, and I'm like, okay, I gotta see this,
And I like to break it apart.
So
I don't like
she
to
gets
rip
the
it.
bread and she rubs her finger in the middle of it.
I
And
was
I'm like,
testing the smushy.
At this point, she got my attention. I'm like, ooh, dinner and a show. And then she starts to open the bread from the top with her thumbs. Nice. All the way until she has this nice little open crevice on top. And I'm like, oh, what do you do next, baby? And then she grabs the butter. She grabs the butter and she puts it on. She's really, really feminine, really delicate.
I'm just focused on my food. I'm not
She gets the
looking
butter
at
and she goes and she puts it on the butter and just goes from the top and works all the way down.
I was rubbing the butter in it.
And she's just going down, and I'm like,
and then it melted, so I was like,
oh. And then she goes, and I'm like, whoa.
And then I look up, and I go take a bite out of it, and I look up, and he's like, oh. I'm like, ew, what? And he goes, eat some more bread, baby. And that's it. I'm like, he ruined it for me. I'm like,
I was like, I don't know whether
he
he's
goes,
hungry
or turned on. He goes, that's
or
like
turned
full
on,
food
but
porn on a whole
damn.
other level. And I'm like, I won't eat bread in public no more.
That's the new role play. Go home. You can be the bread.
You can be my bun.
But just the way she did everything, I'm like,
And I'm oblivious. Like, I'm constantly in my own little world. I was like,
I was like, yeah, spank that bun, baby, spank it.
Yep.
And that's why they can't go to Logan's anymore.
Right. That's why they can't. That's why Lulu can't eat bread anymore.
I don't. If I do, I tear it off in pieces now and just eat it.
There's times she forget. I'm just looking at her and she's like,
and I'll just like mush it into a big ball and like, no.
You
See,
mush it into
now-
a ball.
wow.
Now I have it in my imagination. Lulu's just hiding in the pantry eating a roll.
Doing the whole.
Actually, he has opened the closet. There's a closet right here. Because hiding from him and caught me eating the edible underwear he got me for Valentine's Day. Because there was no candy left in the house.
I was like, what the hell are you doing?
I'm sitting there with that panties hanging.
She's like, it's candy. I'm like,
Is it the ones that used to be like the bracelets and the necklaces?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then chewing the crotch out of it.
I'm like, those are panties.
I'm like, I know. They're tasty.
Now they're just a string.
It was actually pretty good though. We enjoyed
shared.
it.
I wasn't gonna, but I had to. She caught me.
That's
They
right.
were mine, and now it's not.
But a lot of people do ask us about like what we do and how we do our videos, how we do certain things, and then one of the biggest things is
I made him vomit.
is people when they see our videos, it's like it's us. This is the
Just
way
how
we are
we
right now. Interact with you guys. We do stuff. The videos are just. I mean, we watch videos. It's like we're not really doing anything any different than when just being ourselves.
And that's when people are like, why is it so easy? I'm like, because it's just how we are.
Except for certain
I
things.
made him puke one time though, because he's lazy. He can be so lazy. So
Now
we've
you
been
have
traveling,
my
and
attention.
I got my suitcase out the car. Look at his face. He knows where this is going now. I got my suitcase out the car when I get home, and I unpack. I put my dirty laundry in the laundry, and I unpack my clothes, and I put my toiletries in there. And I like to, as a good wife should, I like to wake him up in the morning with lots of kisses and brony up places. So we've done this. I've gone in, had a shower, brushed my teeth. He's still laying in bed like, yeah, I'm the luckiest man in the world. And I'm all done. So I've left. He gets out. I was out there making him coffee. He gets up, goes in, he's like, oh, I forgot my toothbrush. I'll just use hers. I come back in, he's using my toothbrush, and I just couldn't help. I'm holding the coffee. I just looked at him, he's like, ee. I'm like, you know what I just did and what's on that toothbrush? He fully ralphed in the sink. He ralphed in the sink.
Well, then it doesn't help that I have, white toothpaste foam coming out my lip. I'm like, oh my God.
It was the look though where he stopped and the realization hit, and he's like, he looked at it, he looked at the mirror, and then he looked at his face. He's like,
I was like, yeah, to this day, I would not use a toothbrush anymore.
Oh, that is awesome.
And we have made a video of that too. We like, a lot
skit.
of the skits that we have,
things we've done.
I think we've done. We're actually trying to break away from using just different sounds and stuff and voiceovers. We're slowly getting away from that. And that's what we say, a lot of the skits that we do are in our voices. We do use some of the scenes from movies and stuff, but we actually do it in our voices. So we're doing our own thing now. We got
Upcoming announcements.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff that we have kind of tucked away and saved. We are actually running them past friends and family and stuff like that to get their, their first impression of the videos, what
They're
they think about it. Yeah. And it's coming out good. We're not used to like really. It's kind of hard to, if we act normal, it's fine, but we never carry a camera and we're never makeup all the time. So some of it we kind of have to like get back into that moment, which we're trying to get used to doing.
For instance, if I'm driving the car, he's Ace Venturing on the other seat. He's like boom, 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 like he's screaming and crying. And if I'm in the passenger seat and I'm not paying attention to him, he screams squirrel and hit the brakes, and I've actually bounced off the dash. And he's not sorry about it either. He's like, "Well, you're looking at me now." But
like, attention now.
Yeah. So upcoming announcements we have is obviously Influenced. Will be in the first season.
Nice.
So that's exciting.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
The 2024 Cheer Choice Award nominations are coming up in the next 2 months.
Ooh.
We have boycotted them for a couples category because they don't have one, which is why I didn't enter last year because it's for solos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we didn't really think we fit under the family category because that's all whole families. So we've had a heap of people email in, but if anyone wants to go to the Cheer Choice Awards website and throw in another email demanding a couples category, please feel free to do so. We're hopeful.
It's like, listen here. We want Juju and Lulu. The Cheer Choice Awards. Pretty.
Well, last year we got the same thing. Everyone's like, why is it only him? And I'm like, because there's no room for two.
There's talent.
It's a one.
And for those that need to know, it's hello@spreadthecheerusa.org.
It is.
I will happily be putting in an email after we're done here.
The other thing we have is our plushie dolls. I don't know if y'all saw those.
Yes,
We are so
and
excited.
I wanted
So
one, but
excited.
they were
We're
sold
waiting
out.
for we get the prototypes first. So they're like 16 inches tall and they look just like us. And
Nice.
we're waiting for our prototypes to arrive, and then the bulk shipment won't be too far behind. I think it's 4 weeks separation roughly, they said. But I never go off production dates. I just give a guesstimate. They gave us a guesstimate. So
if everything goes well.
3 to 5 months they guesstimated, and we're just starting we're two and a bit months in. So fingers crossed it's an excruciating wait, but they're gonna be awesome. So we've got those coming out, and then we also have two things we're working on at the moment. Everyone has been crying and screaming out for an animated series.
Ooh, yes.
That would be awesome.
We are just starting to poke that now.
Yeah.
Well, once y'all poke it enough and the balloon pops, let us know, and I will happily share
I
it
tell you
everywhere.
what, I will personally send you the first video to review before anyone else.
Yeah. So, these are
Ooh.
things that we're slowly looking into, working on, and I always try to tell everybody, don't hold your breath. If we see it,
When we
it's
say
good,
it
then
now,
we'll be
it's like 3 months down the track. It takes time. And we try to explain to people all the time, I know a lot of people, social media full time. We don't. We both have full-time jobs that actually are more than full-time jobs. We're on call 24 hours a day, which is hilarious if we have to go out on call and makeup, because I'm not going to wash all this off to go out and put it back on again. I'm going to go like this. And I have gone like this. But no, we have kids, we have family, we have commitments, and we have full-time jobs. So we basically fit our social media in and around that.
Yeah.
We don't make a living off of it at all. None of it. And our merch, any of our merch that sells, we actually donate to charity.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yes, the Diabetes Foundation and the Heart Foundation are two of the ones that we love to support.
Okay.
That's what we do as well. We so like he said earlier, we're under the Bearded Bear Entertainment label now, and we any charity work we do goes to the Children's Hospital of Mississippi. So like when we just had a Comic-Con here in Jackson not too long ago, all the money we raised over that weekend went back to the Children's Hospital.
Oh, that's freaking awesome.
Yep.
And you guys want to know one thing? We have not been to a Comic-Con or any
Not
con.
one.
We
I've
need
never
to fix
been
that.
to one.
We need to fix that 100%.
We've been asked to attend a few of them before, and during those times, it was just a bad time for us. We're like, we can't. But we have been talking about it. We're like, what if we did this? What if we went and we're talking about it?
I immediately start sweating through my clothes because I'm like, people Pickle.
Not me. I'm like, I'm a clown. I'll be
He
all
loves
over.
it.
I'll be you'll see me once. I'll be everywhere and
He's
anywhere.
like a squirrel on crack. He's like,
So he's the squirrel from was it Hoodwinked?
yeah. And he's a big fat liar because I'm like, babe, promise you won't leave me. He's like, I won't. And he's like, be right back. And he's just gone.
It's hard though.
An hour later, he comes back and I'm hiding in a corner behind one of our friends that's 7.5 foot tall, going, "You left me here."
It's hard. Just something I do. People just talking to people, meeting new people, and then it goes from like, oh, you got to meet this person. Oh, come over here and talk to this person. And by the time I realize I'm like miles away from home, I'm like, oh, how did I get here? Where am I?
Wind up in Timbuktu, just like, oh.
Yeah, and the
I don't
other thing
know.
is we will be opening up a new page off of our page shortly for Alpha and Omega. I'm sure you got a peek at Alpha.
Yes, I saw that. I was like, ooh, you can.
The Omega is still in a work in progress. I have not finished putting her all together yet because it takes a while. But I can tell you right now, she will have blonde hair.
Ooh.
She's going to be blonde.
I can dig it.
No, so hopefully because as it's a whole different makeup. So if we do Alpha and Omega, we have to do nothing but Alpha and Omega for that entire film set.
Right.
Yeah.
When we do Juju and Lulu, we have to do nothing but Juju and Lulu. It's like it's we have to plan ahead. But no, that will be coming out shortly, and we discussed mushing it all together. But like our Mojo and Mindy page for kids, because all the kids watch our stuff and not all of it is kid friendly, so we kind of shoot them over that way and made that page for them. We decided to kind of branch it off and keep it in its own little entity over there. So people want to watch this, that, or this, they can kind of deviate over.
Right.
And see, I think that's, in my opinion, one thing that I really like about what y'all do. Because, I mean, you've got the original, Juju and Lulu, but you've also got Mojo and Mindy. So if somebody doesn't like Juju and Lulu, they can go over to Mojo and Mindy, and find something there.
Oh yeah.
Try to branch out, I guess.
And Mojo and Mindy, to be honest, like the makeup that originally they're supposed to be in, I just got lazy and I was broke. So instead of wiping the paint off and actually painting them the way the characters are supposed to be, I just threw a hat on. And now I'm like, I was talking to her. I'm like, I go, if people really love them, I want to show them what they're actually supposed to look like. They're the younger version, little babies, really, little kids, and I want to do the makeup the way it was intended to be.
Like, change it up a bit and make it the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah. So
that funny story though, when he started out on TikTok, he wanted to do Dark Juju. Dark Juju was where he started and the ultimate goal. And then the stupid hat came, and it was a gift. He got sent, so he modified it and changed it up and everything. And he did a couple of videos with the hat as a joke, and they took off.
Yeah.
And he got stuck with it. Like when he tried to do Dark Juju, everyone's like, "No, we want to see the hat."
I'm like,
I hate the hat.
I hate the hat.
It's not what I want.
He didn't really bring Dark Juju back until I came on the scene because we kind of reintroduced him back in with Lulu.
Yeah. Nice.
Well, I mean, so Dark Juju is just basically like how we are now. Like we talk shit, we have fun. I do like, I mean, you look at Sin. That's why I like get along with him so well, because we're the same. I just can't put it on our social media platforms like I want to. I mean, there's lots of stuff we do videos.
There's
that people
so
are like,
many
what?
things we would love to do, but we just can't. As I said, this is our third account. We've already gone through 2 of them.
Yeah, so I know that's a character, but when I did that hat and put it on, I got as a practical joke, haha, we're gonna send this to Juju, and I'm like, haha, I'm gonna wear this hat, make a video with it. You can't make me, you can't get me, and in a way it kind of did, but it took off, and people were like, we love it, and every time I tried to do it without the hat, I always got my live, my videos. We want to do, where's the hat? Where's the hat? Where's the hat? I got so tired of that hat. I'm like, ugh.
Do you still have the hat?
Yeah.
He actually ripped the hat up at one point into pieces, and I had to like zombify it back together because he's like, I'm so sick of this freaking hat.
It just got to a point where I was like, I want people to see all my characters and love the characters for what they are. Like I said, I've never once dreamed ever to actually have these characters being well known. Like, I mean, literally around the world.
It is weird.
It is the most weirdest feeling ever. But when I was a kid, this is why I use my imagination. I didn't have friends. I didn't have TV or PlayStation or anything like that. I mean, it was.
He grew up in the absolute ghetto.
So I created these characters, and a lot of time my parents would look at me like, "Do we need to take him somewhere because he's acting weird?" But I would be acting like my characters, and and of course I created them. And then once I got into high school, I wanted to create a book and write a book on all these characters. They did not have faces to them yet at that point, and it wasn't until later on in my adulthood when I'm like, I saw a couple of costumes for Halloween. And I'm like, I want to be different. I want to stand out. I want people to be like, whoa, that's cool. So I started messing with paint and different styles. And I'm like, I'm gonna tap into some some stuff in my family heritage and everything, and kind of the skull, Day of the Dead people, but yet the voodoo to it. And so that's where the character came from, was that's part of it. So then I finally gave faces.
It's also where the name Juju come from. Bad voodoo.
Yep, bad voodoo. And so seeing all that now, and I want people to appreciate the characters and see how they go from like Alpha and Omega. I know people will love them. That is.
They're gonna have to take an adjustment though, because it's gonna be very different from Juju and Lulu.
Yeah, and so these are all part of like my personalities and her personality now. Like Juju, this is me. This is what you get. I am the same person without makeup, with makeup.
Whereas Alpha and Omega are going to be more of all the bullshit we've gone through in life.
The stand the ground. We are the wise ones. We've
been there. We've seen it. We've dealt with it. We've done it.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure people love it. But like I said, I've been working on this for
2 years.
Yeah, and
people we're finally almost there.
Yeah, people were like, "Well, when are you going to do it?" I'm like, "I don't know. It's not ready yet. I don't feel it's ready yet." It's weird talking like that because I've never actually sat and thought like, "Well, I'm actually put this character into life and bring him to social media." And now it's like, this is pretty cool.
I think that's one of the things about all this though, because you can put all the time and the effort into something, and you'll have people, put in their 2 cents, like, all right, let's do this now, or when are you going to have this? And at the end of the day, yeah, you want them to enjoy it, but if you don't enjoy it, or if you don't feel that it's ready, I mean, I'm on the mind, just sit on it,
Yeah.
Get it.
What's awesome too is, we've met a lot of people to where they have spoken to us about doing an animated cartoon on it. We've been approached for comic books. We've been approached for TV series and TV shows.
We've turned it down.
And this is where I'm starting to where I start kind of taking a step back. I'm like, what is is this like for real? Like, is this really happening? Like, I'm like, do you understand what my character is? And they're like, yeah, I've seen you. I know who your character is. And I'm like, so you want to do this with me? And they're like, yeah. Like, this is weird. Like, I've never thought. And I even had a person I talked to, and they're like, I'm gonna put you in touch with a friend of mine. And how do you feel about writing a book? Or them, you tell your whole story and they'll write it out for you. I go, I can't write. I can tell the story. I go, but I can't write. And they're like, well, I have someone who has published books and everything, and I'll talk to him and see about maybe you guys writing a book and telling more of your story and stuff. And I'm like, this is so freaking awesome, but yet weird.
And it is hard. It's that fine line, because we love what we do and we love entertaining everybody, but we're also very private people.
Yeah.
Like, no one really knows much about us, and we've kept it that way on purpose. So and this is where I'll admit I'm the hesitator. He's like, yeah, and I'm like, oh hell no. People and touching and stuff, and like, it's hard. And I know if we put like all our effort into this, I know it'd go boom. And I'm so excited for it to go boom. But at the same time, I'm absolutely freaking terrified, because I love talking to our fans. I love hanging out with our followers. I love being able to do what we do. And I'm scared that when it goes home, I'm going to lose all the time for that. Like, we have friends that are way up there, way, way up there. And they say it consumes every waking minute of their life.
Yeah.
They tell them what they can and can't do for their content. They tell them what they can and can't post on their pages. Like, we had a good friend of ours who actually threw in her whole TikTok and quit because of it. It just got to the point where it was consuming everything she was. And she had all the opportunities and doors open in the world, and she just went, no, I'm done, and walked out.
That,
Wow.
Yeah, that's I hate when it gets to that, because quick throwback for us, we started doing this our first episode dropped April 1st. We went to an anime fest here in Jackson, met a couple friends that host a podcast, and we walked away from them, and he goes, "Hey, you want to do a podcast?" And I was like, "Sure." So we started doing that, and we've had that conversation multiple times since then. If, as it sits right now, this is fun. This is what we're doing. We love doing it. We're not making a paycheck off of it. We ain't even dreamed about that yet. If it were to ever get to that point, it's how would we react to that? And you can say you'll do this or you'll do that, or you won't let it go to your head, or what have you, but you'll never really know until you reach that point.
I'm gonna go buy a private jet.
And we've been to that point and lost it, and been to that point again and lost it, and now we're kind of going back up there. But it wouldn't matter if we have 100 followers or 100 million. We've not changed today. Yeah. And we never will. And that's one of the things our fans say they love most about us. They go, even though you're everywhere and you're still you. You still make time you can for everybody. You never get a fat head. And we've seen it. We've had friends that have gone up, and we've lost friendships over it because we're like, dude, you're acting like a dick.
Heck yeah.
Like you're literally abusing your followers, basically. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, every one of your followers is a treasure. Every one of them should be truly appreciated because they're supporting what you love doing. The minute you start lording yourself over it and treating them like just another number, you don't deserve them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
And I think that's why it works with me and him, is because when one of us starts to get a bigger head, we slap the other one down. It's like, no, don't do that.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Because
every time
we just hit, a little over 100 followers, like maybe a week ago. Mm-hmm. And I know to some people that's not a lot, but to us, we love every one of them.
We love it.
And it's...
Yeah. And like I said, when I first started out, like I said, I was doing this because I love doing this as my way of venting. Watching my numbers grow, I'm like, okay, like who's gonna follow? Who's following me? And like I said, watching them grow and grow and grow, and I got to the point where people, they start making comments like, well, you didn't respond to my comment. Like, I'm sorry, I'm trying.
And we get that a lot. Hard. You're ignoring me. You're not responding. Yeah, they'll go from our messages because we haven't seen their message. They'll actually start going and commenting on our videos. You're ignoring me. You're mean. Yeah. It's like, I haven't seen.
So I try to get back and let them know, like, it's not that. It's just, there's only two of us, and it's hard to keep up with everybody's comments, and we try our hardest.
Well, there'll only be two of us across 3 platforms. It's almost 1 million people.
So I try to express, I'm like, I do this because I love to do it, and we have fun doing this. This is something we love to do. Whether people like it or don't watch it or don't even like our videos or anything, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to be putting videos out, and I've done this since day one till now. I'm going to stop doing. I'm never going to stop doing what I'm doing. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. Still posting videos. Still doing what I'm doing. Putting makeup on. No matter how people sit there and say you're cringy, or how people say this and that, or how many people love me and or how people.
What's the other comment? It's not Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween every day. But
it's
the one thing that from experience, seeing other people go through this stuff and get too far ahead of themselves and let it get to their head. I'm like, that's my biggest fear. I'm like, I don't want to be in that. I don't want that. And we
get some weird stuff too. Like, I got approached. They wanted me to do paid content and promote shaving cream. I'm like, what the hell am I gonna do with shaving cream? So I shaved his head.
Yeah.
I mean, that works.
They're like, we'll pay you $200 to do a 10-second video promoting our shaving cream. So I shaved his head and rubbed it, and went, smooth.
Smooth.
And we also like, so with the influence, when we got approached about that, we sat on it for a while. I was like, what do you think? And we discussed it. We're like,
it was a big thing
what
for
do you
me
think?
too.
Like,
He had to coach me for a week.
And I know how she is. So I'm like, okay, I go, if we do this, we're going to be in front of cameras. We're going to be on a stage. This is going to be something that's going to be seen by a lot of people.
So I immediately had a meltdown.
So, once you got prepped for it and said, okay, you know what, I can do this. So we decided to do it. When we're there, after the show, they were like, we loved having you guys. We enjoyed it. They and
we
the
producers,
have you
back maybe next
season.
The
producers asked us and said, how do you guys feel about doing, I don't want to ruin for everybody else yet, we can't say anything, but coming back for another show. And we're like, we looked at her like,
no, don't do that. Say yeah.
Well, it took a while for us from the first one. Like we truly appreciate it. We're like, yeah, this is awesome. But at the same time, we are like, we never really plan on doing all this. It's like this is something we just really in reality just want to do on social media and do it in front of our phone because we love doing it. Never expected to be growing the way it is, and we're still kind of in awe and still in shock and still backing off a little bit. We're like, I don't know.
We're holding back.
We might do it, and they look at us and they're like, anybody else just jumps at the opportunity and says yes, and you guys are going like, maybe I don't know yet. They're like, you do understand we're asking back for another show? I'm like, yeah, but there's a lot more to it on our end.
And we'd love to, but it's still for us too. Like I said, we have work, we have commitments, we have it's taking time off. It's so much organization, kids, 4 dogs, work, all this stuff that has to be moved around. Like for us, even to go up to Alabama to film that, we drove 16 and a half hours straight, got 4 hours sleep and had to be on set. And then we did all the filming. And then we drove. Wait. You drove.
She's speaking French. She loves to speak French a lot.
To speak French.
We. I'm like, who's this we?
I ate Buc-ee's and had a nap.
She did.
I woke up like just as we're approaching Buc-ee's. I'm like, oh, beaver nugs and coffee, and I was all excited. So I went and got some. And then I went back to sleep. But same on the way back, drove and we had to literally, and we got home 4 hours for work.
Yeah.
No sleep.
Wow.
Hit the ground.
That's a lot.
That's
a lot.
This is probably the most time we actually taken to actually interact with anybody anymore and
actually
get back in the makeup.
I take the afternoon off to come and do this, and my son backs the car into the neighborhood. This is what happens when I'm not watching.
I do have a couple, maybe 2 more questions for you guys.
Go for it.
Okay, number 1, the most important question of this whole interview: will you follow the hesitation station?
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
And we
All
don't
right.
follow many people.
Yeah.
You say what?
We don't follow many people.
Well, we'll take that as a follow. We will take that with graces. And number 2, do y'all have anything? Well, they already shouted it out. I'm so used to doing it. It's like a traction thing. Y'all guys already shouted out your future projects. So shout out your socials. That way we can put them. That way Tank can put them down here, right, buddy?
There you go.
Well,
Is it Dio again?
Same across all your platforms. It's just Juju, the letter N, and Lulu. Juju and Lulu.
For everything?
For
I think
everything.
I can do that.
Everything.
You think you can do? So the last episode we did, I was like, hey, man, I'm going to test your editing skills because as a lot know that Tank is the brains, he's the editor, and I'm the pretty face that is the extrovert, social butterfly, as you will. So I was like, hey, man, put the stuff down here, blah, blah, blah. And he ended up putting, oh, you thought it was our socials, but it was Dio. And I'm like, really? Really?
I had to. It was mandatory that I do that.
But
we'll definitely send it to you. That way you can put it. Where is it? All right. Wait, no. Right here? All right.
Somewhere over in the area. Down
in the area. There's a lot of finger pointing here.
Hang on, let me flex.
No.
Oh, got them guns. I didn't know Juju was an arms dealer.
I don't know. Just before you head off, if y'all have seen the Louisville Slugger that I make.
Yes.
Yes.
I love you.
I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna send it. So you will have number 7 ever made.
Yep.
Number
Now,
7.
now, will that include the cookies?
Include the what?
Cookies.
The cookies.
cookies.
And the cookies.
And the cookies. Okay.
So
I'm not a
happy
big
to
fan
take
of
him away from
coconut.
the cookies.
You know what? I'm not either, but I will gladly eat them, and it will from Juju's reaction, it'll probably change my mind on coconut.
They're really good. Now the bat, the bat don't get along.
I have seen the videos for that.
Did she actually
I try
hit
not
you?
to. Just occasionally my depth perception's not the best, and I'll get him a
So
little
she
bit.
did actually hit you, Juju.
Many times.
Pretty much every video you see, we'll do like 2 to 3 different shoots.
I'm scared. The first couple, I'll hesitate. He goes, just swing properly, and then I clock him.
She will. She'll pause, and I'm like, babe, just
Commit.
swing here. I'll do my part to kind of. And there's times where she would just do it real quick, and I'm not expecting her to go actually full force because I'm used to her like hesitating and whack. And there, pretty much all the videos that we posted are the ones where I get whacked.
It's more realistic.
It's more realistic.
It is, but it's all fun stuff, and we make fun of it where I'm like, she loves hitting me with the bat, but she really doesn't.
I get so upset. I'm like, baby, I'm so sorry.
And we started off to where I was the one, like
he had the
knocking
bat
her around
originally,
stuff.
but people took it the wrong way. It's okay for me to hit him, but it's not okay for him to hit me.
So, but it's funnier. She's shorter.
Makes sense.
Like, see, all towers can fall.
Oh heck yeah! Hey, there's somewhere she's knocked me where I fall.
There's one. I can't post it though.
Yeah.
Where he's running from me, and I actually clocked him, and you see him not only fall, but the phone goes flying and starts rolling, and then she's on its side in the grass, and you just see him laying there.
Oh.
So I'll send you the email for us. Just go ahead and send that to me.
Oh yeah, definitely. You gotta see it. You'll crack up. And some of these videos that we will be sending you and stuff, and you guys will see them, are ones that we're remaking makeup and everything. It's gonna be a little harder to try to get the actual ending to most of them, but we're gonna do our best to improvise and get the reaction that
But thank you guys so much for having us.
Guys,
we enjoyed it.
I appreciate y'all coming on.
He has to go and look at the car now.
I just want you to know that I'm probably gonna go get an energy drink because I've been yawning, not because of y'all, but I've been yawning the entire time, and I'm like, I would be over here doing like this, just trying not to yawn in front of the camera, and I need an energy drink.
This has been an absolute pleasure, and I gratefully thank you guys for coming on.
You guys were awesome. We love the stories. We love hearing you guys. Can't wait to see what you guys bring out, and can't wait to see Alpha and Omega. That's going to be awesome.
And for anyone out there that does not watch them or thinks that they are mean, y'all are horrible. And what are you doing with your life?
Guys, we appreciate it. We enjoyed it.
We'll make sure we follow up, and we'll be sharing y'all over and getting our followers to come give you a follow so they can watch.
Thanks, everybody, for watching. We really appreciate you guys. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, everything that you have that you usually get on. We're there. We're there. Hesitation Station. We made it easy for you. Go check out Juju and Lulu. Make sure you give them some love. Make sure you go watch their videos because they are funny, and Lulu hits Juju a lot. So, thanks, guys. See y'all next time.
Thank you, guys.
Attention passengers, this is your conductor speaking. We are departing the Hesitation Station. Please stand clear of the closing doors.